dig deeper into the president's challenges. A Gallup poll out this week has his approval at 43%, which is the lowest in his presidency. Who other would we turn to then? Chief Political Analyst John Dickerson, who joins us this morning from New York. John, how are you?
Good morning, Margaret. I'm well.
So Democrats have control here. We knew, as we were just speaking about with the Congresswoman, that there are some disagreements within the party itself. How does the president solve this?
Well, he solves it by convincing the party to do as much as it can, given the tight political realities. The Congresswoman mentioned them. They are those narrow margins in Congress, and they need to do this because failure would be worse. Congresswoman Jayapal gave the progressive view. She represents the progressives. The other side is represented by Terry McAuliffe. He'd like to be governor again in Virginia. He was also chairman of the party, and he told Jonathan Martin of the New York Times, he said, voters didn't send Democrats to Washington to sit around and chitty-chat all day. They need to get this done. He was talking about infrastructure, a host of policies he thinks are important, but he's also making a political case. His argument is the districts that are battlegrounds in the next election and the states that have a more diverse electorate. It's not packed full of progressives, and that Democrats need to appeal to that more diverse electorate. Joe Biden has a lot of challenges, including Republicans that don't want to work with him, but these challenges are all within his own party. He's the leader of that party, and these are challenges he has to solve.
Well, you put your finger on why there is this rush to get things done before 2022, but this new poll out from Pew shows that the president's approval rating is down with young voters, some 14 percentage points since July, down 16 points among Latinos, 18 points among African Americans. These groups really help deliver the White House to President Biden. So how can he deal with anger among these particular parts of the electorate?
You know, when you go to a political rally and somebody shouts into a bullhorn, what do we want? Nobody shouts back, incremental progress. The people who turn out in midterm elections, Terry McAuliffe has his view. He says it's a more diverse electorate. What progressives will say is in midterm elections, the people who turn out are your most ardent supporters. And those are the people who really care at a human level about these programs. The Congresswoman was just talking about them. They see the human cost of not having the child care paid for or not having a good start in pre-kindergarten. They also wonder what power is worth. They did all this work to put Joe Biden and the Democrats in power, and these programs are broadly popular, as polling shows. Why'd they do all this work if they're getting such weak tea from Washington? And so this is also a challenge for the president. Even if he can get some things passed, he has to worry about those progressives. He needs to be out there working hard. And so one of the challenges will be, even if something gets passed, how the president and the party sort of bind up their own bruises and convince progressives that they got as much as they could and that they should keep fighting.
But, you know, it's not just about the aspirations of what needs to change. It's the lived experience that people are going through now. On their kitchen tables, they're seeing the cost of food has gone up. You know, they are experiencing some of the economic slowdown. So is it too soon to say that the president is under-delivering, 8 months in? How do we judge where we are now?
Well, there's a paradox in the presidency, which is the president should be judged very heavily because he's the only place everybody can take their complaints. He represents the whole country. And so he should get the pressure of this because it has a political benefit. It motivates his team. It focuses them on. On the other hand, this president, like all presidents, inherited a whole host of challenges. And so we need to be smart about how we see where those challenges are coming from. Not all of them are coming from the presidency.
John Dickerson, always great to chat with you. Thank you.
Check for airbag safety recalls at NHTSA.gov and get recalls repaired for free.
My team has learned that thousands of LAPD employees have told the city that they intend to request religious or medical exemptions from the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Our investigative reporter, Eric Leonard, has been keeping a track and an eye on this in efforts to get the police officers and firefighters vaccinated. You can see Eric joins us live right now with what city officials have called a surprising number. Eric.
Yeah, well, certainly it was widely known that there were groups of officers, even firefighters, who have disagreed with the city's vaccine mandate. But when the first deadline to file the intent to either ask for a religious or medical exemption arrived last week, our contacts say they were floored. More than 2,000 LAPD employees have made the request for those initial exemptions. According to several senior city officials personally familiar with this data, about 2,300 LAPD employees, including officers, supervisors, and support staff, have filed this form online that reports they intend to ask for a religious exemption from the COVID-19 vaccine. An additional 300 or so indicated they may ask for a medical exemption. And altogether, that's about 20% of the police department's workforce. For comparison, the city officials tell us about 2 or 3% of employees at most other city departments have asked for the same exemptions. And the last vaccination data released by the LAPD showed 47% of its employees had been fully vaccinated by September 3rd. But the department says it expects that number to increase with the mandatory reporting requirements to the city. The initial deadline for city workers to report the status or ask for these exemptions was last Monday. That was extended to the close of business today after thousands of employees failed to register or request. So we're expecting, really in the next hour, that Mayor Eric Garcetti's office is going to release updated numbers that include all the city departments, including the LAPD and the LA City Fire Department. The officials say the forms were also something of a survey where employees could indicate that they may ask for these exemptions, but of course they could still change their minds later and get vaccinated. Reporting live, I'm investigative reporter Eric Leonard, NBC4 News.
Ready to